The movie Across was written and directed by
Yeah, tell me a little more.
Matthew Riutta, and it's starring myself and Michael Curry, who's an amazing actor. We shot this movie, I want to say in 2019, and what's quick backstory, I had auditioned for the film in 2013 in San Francisco. And Matthew Rita gave me the biggest compliment that I've ever received from a director, where he said, "Thank you for bringing my words to life." I was just like, wow, never heard from him again. So I was just like, well. And fast forward to 2019, I received a phone call from him saying that, "Hey, I was referred to you from a friend. I'm looking to shoot this movie." And so when he tells me about the film, and I'm like, did you audition for this in Oakland, California years ago in 2013? He's like, "Yes." I was like, "It's me. I was the first guy in the building." And we just like, no way. And so he explained to me why the film wasn't shot. They being that the movie is based around the Bay Bridge. This was at the time when I originally auditioned for it. It was the bridge was being dismantled and the new bridge was being built. So he couldn't get the permits. So here it is, fast forward to years later. He's calling me based on someone who referred me. And it was just like, it was serendipity. It was a full circle. And so I always attribute that to saying that a no is not always a no, it's maybe just a delay. Because Matthew and I are like brothers now. That, the film Across was dedicated to his father, who had just passed a year or so prior. And so we shot on Easter Sunday, and someone brought to my attention, if not to get too religious or anything, but Across is the name of the film, and we shot on Sunday, Easter, about father, son.
Wow.
You can't get no more. I got goosebumps just thinking about
That's
it.
I had no idea. I'm so glad you told us this, and it was meant to be. What a story! How it
Yeah,
was meant to be. You see, I mean, there is so much, so much love and so much just connection between people when you create these amazing works of art, collaborating together. And see, and I totally believe in this serendipity and all this stuff that happens. It doesn't happen just, haphazardly. It was meant,
yes,
it was meant to be, definitely.
so true. That's so true. That's what I believe. I'm very connected when it comes to my personal beliefs. So I don't believe in something about it's a coincidence or it just so happens. It's like I've been very connected all my life. So I've always known that there was no coincidence. It's not a such thing. These things happen as they should and when they're supposed to. And so I tend to at one point I used to be a little bit I have a lot of anxiety about things and feeling I'm not in control of things. And so I've learned as I've gotten older to just allow, and it always works itself out.
Yes, that's so lovely. That's a great point, and so needed right now
Yeah,
to give people hope and give people strength. And even I love what you said about no, right? That it's not a no, it was just a delay. And what a great message through what actually happened in this case with the movie that you are so great in too. I mean, it looks like you were meant to be right there as this dad, you know?
yeah, I guess right. I mean, and then we were able
I
to
love
get
the switches. I just
viewers,
love.
what was it, viewers choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, viewers choice. We won, and I in San Francisco. I
Amazing.
was so elated when we won the award. I didn't want to overdo it when we got
Congratulations.
that we won, but it was like I didn't want to gloat, but it was like, wow,
You should.
a tribute to his father. It was like it was just on time. Everything. It was just I celebrated more for Matthew and his father more so than myself. It was just like that's an amazing feat.
Of course. Yeah, that's so awesome. And congratulations. Thank you.
And
Congratulations on that. That was an Audience Choice Award.
Yes, give the audience
Please
choices.
tell us about that festival that Across was in, and any other accolades.
Yeah, so that one, and we did pretty well with Disrupted, at CineQuest, I believe that I didn't get a chance to make it to, and you
Oh,
know,
Disrupted, yes. Well, Disrupted was in CineQuest and won also an Audience Choice Award. Which
yes,
so exciting. We learned about this kind of later, right? Because of the pandemic too, it got halted because the thing with Disrupted when it was first introduced, this is almost immediately the pandemic started.
yeah,
So there was the premiere, in Redwood City and Tahoe, and then San Jose. Also, there were showings at the California Theater, which is a very beautiful kind of. It's an old historical building, very nice. And so, in any case, there was still a lot of people. People came to see it, even though it was already beginning.
Well, look, you know what I never thought in my lifetime I would see was a film that I had the pleasure to work on to be at a drive-in theater. I don't know if you knew about that.
It's
That
like
they had it was a drive-in out here that they showed the movie in the
that.
back of a building, and
Yes. Oh,
it was amazing.
now, were you able to actually? You were able to see it because it was in LA.
Yes, I was there. We pulled up our cars. We were in the parking garage on top of a parking garage next to a mall, and I believe that was Sherman Oaks. And we had vendors out, and it was a film festival. But it was one of those moments where it's just like for me, I was saying today earlier that I'm still like in awe when being here in Los Angeles, working with certain people, meeting certain people. I'm still a fan. I'm still like that child who always had this dream of having these experiences and to actually have them. I'm always in gratitude. So when I say working with Andre, seeing the backdrop that you have there, all these things, I'm always in gratitude. It's never a moment that I can ever see where I'm like, I'm used to it or whatever. It's I was telling a friend of mine last night that I had the pleasure of working with George Lucas, and I'm not going to go on that long story, but if I told you what I went through to actually get in this film called Red Tails that George Lucas directed, and ironically, one of the stars, Nate Parker, who was just here earlier, I had the pleasure to meet, and explaining him how I thanked him. And, I didn't get a chance to really know him back then, but to have this moment today was pretty special. But I'm saying all that just to say that for me, when I heard George Lucas, if anyone who knows me, I'm a hardcore Star Wars. I mean, I still watch Star Wars to this day. And to have him behind the camera and tell me action, I was like, if I never made another movie, I would be fine. Because that was like, if it was a bucket list, it's not to be so cliche, but it's almost like, when you meet that, and they always say never meet your heroes because you could be pretty much disappointed. I've had the luxury of meeting a lot of my heroes. Wasn't disappointed.
It's the Holy Grail. It's amazing.
It's the Holy Grail. Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
and I love this because I tend to do the same thing. I never take things for granted, or I live in that moment. Like when
Yes.
something happy is happening, or if I'm, oh my gosh, I'm actually here. This is amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You're in the future.
You have to have that attitude. And I love what you said about no, and it being just a delay. I mean, it's just so important to live by that. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves though, right? Because even though we're putting out this great positive attitude, you know how it is. I mean, we all get stuck in it sometimes, and it's like, wait, okay, back to the drawing board. But
Yeah.
I love everything you shared with us. And I do want to mention, by the way, that was the Method Festival in LA.
There we go. The Method Fest. Yes, yes, yes. The Method Fest.
They wanted to proceed even though it was the pandemic, and they were very creative, speaking of which, and showing the films on the side of the building, and Disrupted landed right there. And actually it walked away. The movie walked away with like 3 nominations.
Yes.
Categories, including Jeffrey Nolan Best actor, but I know Andre got one, and I think the film or the screen. I should know. I should know that.
I know we posted them, right? I'm like,
I know there are three for sure, and then Soho International Festival. You guys were in that too. Disrupted was in Soho in New York, and that also got.
oh,
And the two dudes, Ron and Jeffrey, got nominated for Best Actor. So
what?
what? Well,
I,
another
I mean, Jeff,
there was
I
another,
can't say enough about Jeff. I
and
can't say enough about
minus the pandemic, you guys would have really even blown it even.
Oh yeah, we would have probably swept up, and that's what I also want to add with Jeff as far as the Brotherhood. When we were in Tahoe, it's funny how like even Maria, I mean, we meet on the set, because they were cast here in Los Angeles, and at the time I was living in the Bay Area, so I met these guys on set in Tahoe. And when I say it was like, genuine people, where it's just like outside of the Hollywood world where you could meet people and they sing, yeah, and then you don't see them for a while and you see them again. So, but my point was, these were genuine people that I met that we all had so much fun. Like, there's no one on that set that I would never work with, and that I could consider like Jeff and I even, we tend to just talk to each other like we're brothers. Like we snap on each other on social media all the time. And so, and as talented as that man is, that you would think, oh, this guy's so serious all the time, and it could be farther from the truth. Just like with Ron, Ron with that groggly voice, and he's so stoic, and but is one of the sweetest, nicest guys in a minute.
Right.
Along with Chioke, I can honestly say Chioke is kind of chill. He's my brother. Chioke is no nonsense. I'll say that. But he has a sense of humor, but he's no nonsense.
A little caveat about Chioke. It's so funny because I actually saw him on Red Sleep, some of the episodes, and when they were filming Disrupted in San Francisco one day, I got to be there, and we had this. They were repeating a scene over and over again with Ron and his son-in-law in the movie, Philippe. Oh gosh, Jean-Marie. He has such a great French name.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And what happened is I ended up just talking to Jelani for a while. We're just talking, and we're just one subject to another. You know how he is too. You can talk about anything with him.
I'm one of the smartest guys I ever met in my life.
I know, he's so super cool, super smart, and we just keep on talking, and she's just so cool and nice, and And then I realized that it's him, the guy.
Oh, you didn't know he was the same person? You didn't know his
I couldn't tell because it's so far out what he was doing. I was like, oh, Lord.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's a compliment to his acting.
Yeah,
it's like he goes there. He's
he
raises the level for me too as well. It's like, okay, yeah, raise the level. I love it.
Definitely awesome. And like I said, all of you guys, you have your own strengths, and you just bring it. That's it's the genuine part. I think it's really the genuine part, the brotherhood. All of this matters.
It does.
Not about that budget necessarily, although of course, the career needs to take the path and and hopefully get into that realm where you can be seen by more people. It's not even, your art needs to be exposed to more people, and that's where you really love it and you love what you do. I think it's mostly about that, right? You want this exposed. And like Ron always says, he doesn't like me to say that it's him, or he says, no, it's a great ensemble. We had a great cast. Everyone is amazing. And I think it's always important to remember that, because no one stands by themselves. No one is going to be the star or the person without everyone else working together. So
but I have no problem if you did tell him that it's him. Why not? I
Well,
think it's cute.
no, I do because
That's my point. I have no problem with that, as you should.
to say that, and I'm like, okay. So he let me a couple of times, but he's like always says, I was part of this incredible project and movie and whatnot. So, okay, well, I am so honored that you were on my podcast. I
I
really
am too. I am too. Thank you. Do you know this is uh I did one with Ron and Andre and Chioke years ago for Red Sleep. So, but I can say this is my second podcast interview. So it's a pleasure. It's a honor and a pleasure that you allowed me to be on your show and grace your show and have our backdrop. It's amazing. It's an amazing day. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
and we worked out every little glitch and every and
Yes. That retrograde, I'm telling you.
it worked out, and I am so excited to put it out into the world, and I wish you so much success and,
Thank you.
and happiness. First of all, well-being, right? That's number one. And
Yes.
so just, keep putting out this wonderful energy, this creative spirit that you have, and
Thank
share
you.
the world, and and the world will notice. And I tell you, they need to notice right now because things are about to roll. And too, like I said, remember that name and remember this face and this voice.
Thank you.
Voice. Oh my God. I love your voice and the voiceover. The voiceover reel. I love it. I'm gonna
Oh, great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
and yeah, keep on doing that. I want to hear more about what's happening. I want to have you back in a little bit.
Okay.
You will.
Great. I would love to come back. I have some things that I'm looking forward to sharing in the near future. So yeah, I can't wait to come
Me about this, and I know that you can't quite share it yet, which I am so excited for you on this.
Thank you.
I wish
Thank you.
all luck in the world, and I know that you're on your way to do even more and bigger things and wonderful things. And already what you've done, you've accomplished so much already. And
Thank you.
everyone else is there still, and they want to work together again. So I hope that you guys, however you end up together again in a new project,
Yeah.
I will be so happy to see you guys do that again and bring that energy that you have, to your creative process, and just delight the audiences with what you have, your gifts.
Wow. Well,
Plenty.
I'll just say that it's possible. Anything is possible.
It's not only possible, it's definitely gonna happen if you make it happen.
Yes, you put it out there.
Like
Show up.
you got to keep putting it out there though, right? And always think of that next possibility, because like you said before, even with this movie Across, that's so amazing, and you're so amazing in it. Look how this happened. That Ron always says, do your audition, right? You do it and you forget it. Like he always tells me when I do like a kind of an equivalent, whatever interview, or I talk to a client or whatever it is, he says, honey, just do it and forget it. Sometimes you have to just let yourself, because then it's either going to happen or not, but you never know. Like you said, it could be a delay. It could be a delay, and it could come to fruition a little bit later, and you met those people and you allowed that moment to happen. So then you see what's going to happen from that moment. We either learn from it, or we actually end up somehow in a circular fashion back to the moment that will, propel us to something else. So I love what
that being said, if you look at the world one way, that's what will be reflected back to you. So if you see a detour sign, look at it as detour. You're taking a different route and a different scenery to get to where you're going, and you'll eventually get there.
I love it. Detour. I love it. See? Oh my gosh, what great advice. And with that, I think everyone should just, get on board, and whatever your goals are, think of, that detour that you may have had, but now you're just taking another road,
Yes, yes. A detour to a different place. Yes.
That's it. I'm gonna end on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Love you. Thank you very much. God bless everything, the best to you and your success. And
You
I
as well.
to having you back very soon.
Thank you for allowing me on your platform to use to get the word out. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's all my pleasure. Thank you so much, Akhu.